Hey guys, happy Memorial Day weekend. This is an update on Stellar Lumens, which has been kind of stuck in a holding pattern. While some of the altcoins have spiked up nicely, Stellar Lumens hasn't seen as much upside action, but it has also seen less of a downside setup, unlike some of the other coins. This is the 15-minute chart on Stellar. These charts are available in the link below, the description below. There are links there. And well, we still have our 5-wave rally structure that topped on May 15th. And well, this is actually sufficiently second wave like enough. We have about just almost exactly a 61.8% retrace off of this. So this could be convincingly a second wave pullback. That would be a good sign. If it is, though, we need to start turning around really quick. Unlike some of the other coins, Stellar never had a clear downside setup. I know I've been demonstrating with Bitcoin Cash what the downside setup looked like in a lot of the altcoins. And well, I was convinced we were about to go down. As of about May 23rd, we had a clear 1-2 setup, impulsive looking, first wave down, second wave up. And I actually unload a lot of my positions in anticipation for a big dip down. But that dip, while it looks like it came in Bitcoin Cash, it didn't really come in the way I would have expected. I was expecting much more of a meltdown than we've seen, at least in Stellar Lumens. Bitcoin has also had a little bit more follow through down on the downside. But since that bottom, we have what could be counted as 5 waves up off the rally. I'm sorry, off the correction. So you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little easier to see up close, and we have held so far. We have not invalidated this so far. So at the moment, this is looking somewhat bullish. Ethereum has not been as lucky because it actually invalidated its setup for a rally, although it may have another one in place now. This was the original setup here, and I've done some analysis on our crypto miners. Riot and Mara, M-A-R-A, and they do seem to have a similar 1-2 setup on the smaller time scale, just as we're seeing in Bitcoin. So what does that mean for Stellar? Well, like I said, if this is the bottom of the second wave, we need to see some furious rallying relatively quickly. We've seen that in the stock market and across various asset classes. It was a crazy week for pretty much all of the indices and several commodities as well. And if you were looking to buy, I did rebuy my positions. I mentioned I unloaded some. I bought the dip as of, I think, yesterday morning or the day before, something, middle of the week. So I'm fully allocated and I'm prepared mentally to hold through any kind of further downside we may have. But if you're looking for a more high confidence position to buy a better setup, you could wait for the larger impulse. So if this is a 1-2, we should expect a third wave up to 17, 18 cents, and eventually a top for the fifth wave between 19 and 20 cents. And the subsequent pullback would be your chance to buy. I'll, of course, have updates posted on when would be a good time for a more high confidence purchase. But these are risk assets at the end of the day. There's never a perfect time to buy. So be mindful when you're looking to get in. So on this chart, this is the logarithmic daily chart. Haven't really changed too much just yet. These red and orange patterns are pretty much identical. The orange is just counting for a slightly lower low. In Stellar Lumens, we actually did land right in the target box that we had been projecting for months. So it got there, just went in. Are we done yet? Not sure. This latest swing back down does look corrective on the big picture chart. But if we do go down a bit lower, somewhere in the top half of this box, about as low as I would expect us to go, 8 cents, maybe 6 cents. The absolute worst case would be about 4.7 cents. I don't see us having enough bear fuel to go down there right now. We have already exhausted sentiment pretty nicely. And when we look at our MACD, still have a nice divergence set up. While we've gotten lower, this has been turning up. So that is a good sign for any kind of rebound across the cryptos, not just in Stellar Lumens. Now, big picture, I've been not recharting, but kind of reinterpreting what the big picture looks like. I started with EOS and Dash, in which we had this colossal top across cryptos and the stock market. And in Bitcoin, at least, this looks like a third wave top. I've been using the Dash chart to demonstrate this point just because it's a little bit cleaner than my Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. But this is the end of 2017, early 2018 high, third wave. The stock market topped about within 1 or 2 months of this. And this is the dip in 2020 would have been the conclusion of a larger fourth wave. That is certainly the case for the S&P 500 and the Dow. So if that is the case, we should have one more impulsive rally left, or maybe an ending diagonal left to finish this rally. So with that being said, the way that it affects our big picture chart on XLM Stellar Lumens is that, well, I simulate it here. So if I mimic what I've seen in EOS and Dash and apply it to this chart, we have an imaginary bottom somewhere down here, well below 1 cent. We have a 38.2% retrace. Our final top should project somewhere between the 0.32 and 0.61 extensions of that larger 3-4. Again, assuming this is a 3 and a 4, I know I don't have it written here. That would project somewhere between 97 cents, maybe 294, as high as 891. That 891 is definitely eye-catching to me because it does have a lot of confluence with the bigger picture patterns that we have. You can see how the Fibonacci's line up. Even with this here, if this is just a big A, B, and we have a C wave left, that 891 number, that Fibonacci extension goes right through our blue-green box here. So that is a good sign that we could have some pretty spectacular upside, but not until we can confirm this bottom and get a little bit more rallying action here in the near term. So zooming back up on the close picture, I still expect us to have a bigger impulse wave into this territory right around the 24-cent mark. I mentioned something like 20 cents in the small picture chart. The log chart projects a bit differently, but they're pretty close. So once we have that in place and we have a pullback, that will be your chance to buy, most likely. There's no guarantee we're going to have it, but I would fully expect some kind of a second wave. Stellar does have a history of pretty standard looking depth to the pullbacks. Once that happens, the way we rally into this green box will determine what the rest of the pattern should look like. Is this going to be a big A, B, C rally to finish off, get us into the top? Or are we going to have something more impulsive? I know I got a lot of numbers floating around that I should probably have deleted by now, but if we do go into this box after an A, B, and a C, that is very likely going to be our final top. So I'm actually going to take that 3 off altogether. That would be the final top of our structure, of our long-term structure, actually, which would be an everything top. I know I have this showing kind of vaguely in 2023. I have reason to believe that we won't see the top until the second half of 2023, maybe later. There's no telling. Timing is, of course, secondary in Elliott Wave theory. So we really don't know, but this is projecting to about, end of 2024. I put this on the weekly chart, weekly view, weekly interval. Well, that just totally distorted everything. So ignore that for now. But back half of 2023, I have a rough estimate using the Marathon Digital Holdings ticker, which is a Bitcoin mining blockchain company. And I got October 2023 as an approximate top. That was calculated off of the trend lines. It happens to have a much cleaner structure than Stellar and most of the cryptocurrencies do, but that is of secondary concern right now. So let's see if we can get a bigger rally. Let's see if it has a standard 5-wave structure to it. And then we can have a much more accurate projection of what our targets overhead are. If you're looking to buy, as I mentioned, you can start putting tranches in now, start up to dollar cost average, or wait for that larger 1-2 setup that we got there. And of course, Stellar Lumens is an altcoin, as I always advise and recommend. Altcoins are higher risk, higher reward. Make sure you have a bunch of them. Don't put everything into one basket, no matter how much you love it. The exception being Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are not altcoins. Those are a bit safer and a bit more robust. But when you're messing with altcoins, be careful. You guys saw what happened to EOS. So I'm going to have plenty more updates coming your way. Subscribe so that you don't miss them. And until next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.